Alrighty, let's do a quick intro to isometrics here with a few examples. So isometric contractions are when we create force with no movement. So maybe we are pushing or pulling against something and there's no movement taking place. So a concentric contraction is when the muscle is shortening, eccentric is when it's lengthening, isometric, no movement. And this can be anywhere throughout our range of motion, end range, mid range, etc., depending on our goal. And I'll give you a real quick example of this here. Here is a half kneeling isometric for the quad, hip flexor, etc. When I let it play, it's going to mess up the audio, so I'm going to not speak through that. So check this out. We have a 90-degree angle, a little bit of a stretch there through these tissues, but it's not at end range here, and we're pushing down. So this is sped up. Okay, so you see here is another way you can progress this. We are stretching a little bit deeper. We're closing that angle of the knee, which puts all of these tissues on a deeper stretch, making this isometric more intense and actually increasing how much it engages the connective tissue, which we'll talk about in a moment. Now, a big benefit of isometric contractions, they help reduce inflammation. They don't create shearing forces like other moving type strength training. So that's one of the reasons why it helps reduce inflammation, can help us feel better. And as I alluded to, it targets our connective tissue. So much of typical strength training is going to recruit muscles way more than connective tissue. So we're going to disproportionately strengthen our muscles and not have the right foundation within our connective tissue. That's why, partly why so many injuries and pain take place within connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, joints, the stuff that is not muscle and bone. So what I'm referring to with connective tissue. So we use these isometrics for rehabilitation and recovery. So building scaffolding. So we're building a framework from which we can build more muscle and healthier muscle that will actually be able to handle versus making it so strong that the connective tissue can't deal with it. Okay, it's like putting materials on a building that the frame cannot support. So we're going to make that really robust. We also use it for the isometrics for strength and resilience of connective tissue. So we're building the scaffolding, then we're going to make it stronger and stronger and stronger so it can handle higher forces. Because if we're playing sports, we're going to need to handle really massive forces and we need to build strength. So we can use isometrics at a low intensity really often for rehabilitation and for reducing inflammation recovery. Then we can use moderate or high intensity isometrics, kind of like what you saw with that half kneel example, where we're pushing a lot harder. That's going to help build better strength and resilience. And we can also use isometrics to help increase our range of motion and reduce tension and pain, as well as improving our strength and control at end ranges. So awkward ranges where we're going to end up in and we want to have more strength and control, we can use isometrics to do that. And we're going to talk further in the following modules about how exactly we apply them. But I just want this to be a nice intro so you understand generally why we're doing isometrics and why they're so awesome.